Let me bring the man who is a lawyer here now to give us some sense of what the law is and how what has been the delay really for almost 10 years. Honorable West IDAHOSA, during your time in the National Assembly, we've seen a lot of back and forth on the PIB. Now, what do you make of what the Senate has done today? Do you think this is a historical moment in Nigeria's petroleum industry, the life of Nigeria petroleum industry?
But let me say that I am not very excited. I'm not very excited at this point in time. I'm hoping that when the whole package is passed, then we begin to look at the practicability. The worry always will be implementation. When you remember what happened to the cabotage bill that was passed to aid the shipping sector for Nigerian local content. So I am hoping that once the whole bill is passed, we can begin to look at the new models of implementation and character manifestation with the hope that this can get the bill to achieve its important objectives for Nigeria.
With what we see and the breakdown that we've seen that the National Assembly is bringing to the table, how it's going to, the PIB, how it's going to regulate the industry and how things are going to be broken down, it does also look like they're saying that it will help to make the NPC, the National Petroleum Company, be more commercial and fully integrate across the value chain. With what you're saying right now, there are different versions that we've seen over the years in this past decade or so. What kind of version do you think we are getting when we have just a portion of it, a part of it, that have been passed today at the floor of the Senate?
I'll break this into three versions. The first, as you've already said, is the governance bill. The second is the fiscal bill. And the third is the host community bill. So the version that we expect from the House of Reps is to align with this strategy and then sort out whatever differences so they can have a harmonious bill for presidential assent. I am not expecting a fundamental difference from the version of both houses because I think that the details have been thoroughly worked out and that the whole idea is to give added impetus to the sector, add value to the sector and promote transparency, and then give additional revenue to the nation from the nation's cash cow.
Okay, let me come back to Lagos before I come to you, Dr. Chris Ekiyo. Mr. BISMARCK, as it stands right now, there's some news coming from OPEC and the fact that the global price of oil and the impact on the Nigerian economy, which of course that's a major way of financing the budget, which is still not passed at this moment. Do you think some of this reaction we see in the National Assembly, how do you think the ripple effect may be on the general outlook of Nigerian economy?
First and foremost, we should get one thing clear. The bargaining position of Nigeria is much weaker today in today's oil industry setting than it was in 2008. In 2008, the price of oil was as high as $114 a barrel. Today, we are at 52, and we thank God for that. The number of rigs operating in Nigeria today are at least almost 30% lower than the rigs that were operating in Nigeria in 2008. The environment is more of a, how I put it, a multinational oil company environment. They are in a stronger position today than we are. Therefore, we should accelerate the incentives. If anything, we should have put the incentive bill, part of the bill first, before we even did that of the governance structure, and then before we talk about the host communities. But we cannot afford to slow down. We need to move very rapidly to ensure that we can get oil, because there's oil now in almost every part of the Gulf of Guinea, all the way to Ivory Coast, Ghana. So we are competing for investment resources. One, to explore what we have, produce what we have, and also we need to also have a transparent structure so that people can believe us. More than anything else, we have to be credible. And most important is that the oil is trading at 50% below where its peak, And this is going to be like this for a long time to come. Nigeria needs the money, and with a population of 170 to 180 million people, we need it now.
Before I allow you go, Mr. Bismarck, and the Committee of Oil-Producing Nations, this kind of legislation, is it a progress for us? And in comparison, how do we look right now if this goes through properly and it becomes law in full terms?
See, Nigeria has a notorious reputation for lack of governance, for corruption, and for opaque structures. Anything that will improve the transparency, anything that will make us move towards best practice will be welcomed by the world, because right now, we are not taken seriously because there's a trust deficit against Nigeria, both domestically and internationally. So when you have such a soiled reputation, then you need to do something to improve it, especially by showing signals that, one, you are transparent, and two, you are serious. Nigeria has the twin evil of being considered corrupt, dishonest, and also unserious. Okay. So this is a right direction.
In one word, Mr. REWANE, thumbs up, thumbs down for the Senate for what they did today?
Thumbs up.
Okay, thank you.
A bad decision is better than no decision.
Oh, great.
So as far as I'm concerned, this is a move in the right direction.